Yogurt time. So just finished with the second column here, moved some over from the first column to the second column. So now it is all sorted with each thing a lot more specific. So this will help a lot because I am looking through this quite often for long periods of time, just trying to find whatever I'm looking for. So this will help lots. My dad said he's going to take a look at it and see if he can find any better way of sorting it. Going to see if these things can maybe be removed here on the columns so that it can be better organized. Maybe move the superheroes over to this one and then keep the two others over here and then be able to sort it all alphabetically or something like that. But we're going to figure out a method for this. But now I'm going to start on processing the 7 pounds of parts that were in the mail the other day. And lots of those should be able to go, like even right here, this one here, I know that minifigure was in there, and there were lots of other minifigures in here that are definitely in there. Now have all of the minifigures from the haul on the table here, so now I can get to processing all of these guys and then working on rebuilding as many as I can on eBay and just trying to put absolutely everything either away or list it for sale. So this is what it ends up looking like now. The superheroes column has moved one over to the side, and now this one here is just other, and it is in alphabetical order. So it's sorted all through the end. So it adventures to Nexo Knights, I believe, and then from Ninjago. Let me get this here, all the way to other at the end there. Other isn't alphabetically sorted, but that's just because it's everything else. And so now I can find stuff a lot easier. So that, in combination with having the much more organized drawers here, helps rebuild things a lot faster. I just rebuilt this one here because now I looked and then I noticed that I had the Senate Commando drawer and I saw a Senate Commando here. So then I was like, oh, I wonder if I have that. So I was able to rebuild that right away. Found part in this slot and parts from the drawers. And yeah, it's overall pretty good now. So now I can go through this and just start rebuilding some different things that I can and just putting parts away and everything like that. And now since it's all cleaned, I don't need to worry about anything being real filthy or anything like that, at least not in comparison to what has been in the past. But then I can just remove these double-sided tape things as I go throughout the stuff. But yeah, it's overall much better now. So I'm basically just grabbing one handful at a time and then putting it in front of me, and then I'll just quickly go through it. Like this one here, I was gathering the other Ahsoka parts. I've got legs, torso, head, and now our headgear. And then just other parts here, like looking at this here is the shredder head. So then I find where my TMNT drawer is. I know recently a lot of these were moved around, so I'm still trying to find them, but right here, and then I can just put them in that drawer, and then say there's some other stuff here. I usually go first for the accessories. So these here are accessories. I'll only do a few for now, but those in the accessories container. And then there's the missorted stuff, which I'll grab and put in the missorted container. Then unique stuff that I don't want to put in the missorted container because I won't be listing that for a very long time. I'll put in the pile of stuff to list now, along with some other minifigures and stuff like that I can just list right away. And then if I find one that I think I need, because I think I need Nebula, then I look it up on Bricklink, check the wanted list, then I check for it in the waiting for parts container and like that. And then for the minifigure parts, right here some Han Solo legs, so I'll put these guys in the Han Solo drawer, and then everything else will basically just be set on the side over here with the MISC unthemed minifigures, which will end up going into a lot of those drawers. Skeletons are in there as well and stuff like that. And so yeah, just slowly going through all of this. So then they've just now added the other thing for the floorboards here now, and they painted either the entire floorboard or just parts and pieces of them, I can't remember. But they took quite a while, so I'm thinking maybe the entire thing. I'm not sure though. It would be a bit weird if they did, but I have no idea. And they still didn't do anything about the bottom of the fireplace there, but presumably they're gonna figure something out for that. There's a little bit of paint on the floor, as you can see there, and stuff like that, but it can probably be removed. There's a little bit more here and stuff, but probably just get some paint remover or something. I know that probably damaged the floor. They'll figure something out, I don't know. And then for the top of the steps over here, apparently they aren't actually going to be able to really do too much about that, because that's kind of like the top of the steps themselves that kind of hold the entire staircase in place or something like that. So I'm not sure what we're gonna do about that, but they'll figure it out. But yeah, then yep, they've got all of the baseboards inside the closet as well. Just wanted to make sure they didn't forget that. But yeah, then Friday is the estimated time for the cabinets, not the island, but the cabinets. So today is Wednesday, so Thursday, Friday. So not tomorrow, but the day after. They should be having the cabinets here. And then I have no idea about the island, but presumably the island is after the cabinets. And the cabinets could take a couple days or so. So I'll say Friday, Saturday, well, at least probably. That means next week would probably be the earliest for the island and stuff like that. So then still going to have to wait till next week then at this rate, but hopefully next week should be the last week at this point. But then the one thing about this is over here, with these two floorboards here, there's a bit of a gap. One second, let me just try to get it to focus a bit better. But as you can see, there's kind of like a height gap in between them, and you can run your hand across and it gets kind of stuck there and stuff like that. But they can't really do much about that apparently. So yeah, well, we do have furniture over here presumably. So this will be covered, but it is a little bit weird that your hand gets stuck on that, or if you try to walk by, your foot can get caught on it and stuff like that. But besides that, it's overall very good. And yeah, he said if there's any issues with that in the future, then to call him and he'll figure it out. And yeah, so then still waiting for the new vents because we're getting new vents from what I remember. But yeah, slowly making progress, and hopefully less than a week until I have the basement all back to myself, and then I can get back to full productivity. So just finished with the first sort of all of the minifigures. Here is the more generic minifigures. There's a couple other things still mixed in here, but these ones will then get sorted into the drawers. I've got stuff over here that need a bit more attention. Like some of these can go to rebuild eBay cards, and then things like this here I need for dimensions for Bricklink and stuff like that. So that's what that pile is for. This here is a pile of parts that I don't want to put in the missorted container because I just want to try and get these guys listed because they've got some value or they're just interesting, because I know I won't be getting to the missorted container for a while. Then there's this one here, which is the garbage container. It's just full of a few parts that are real Lego that are just badly damaged, but mostly just non-Lego parts that are mixed in. This here's the second container of missorted. It's just parts that aren't accessories or minifigure parts or anything like that. And then this here's all of the accessories that I found mixed in. So I'm going to basically just put this in with the rest of them missorted, and then probably work on this pile or this pile next. And then after that, tackle either this or the accessories. Yogurt time. So just finished with the pile of parts over here. Was able to rebuild a whole bunch of minifigures. One order was in the mail today, which helped rebuild some of them as well. So now I'm going to work on getting all these parts put into their proper drawers, and then probably sorting all the accessories out, and then listing this stuff here. And then I was able to get a few dimensions for some of the Nexonite figures, like this guy and the normal Berserker, and then also a whole bunch of the Brickster things, which are these guys here. And then there's that, and then also just a couple others. But now there is almost at the 800 mark for remaining, so we're just about below 800 finally. So that's exciting, but then I'll get to work on these guys now. So the first step, I just took apart all of the minifigures into their separate components. A few of them I've missed, but then basically I just separate them, one second, into just parts, and then I just put them back in the pile. And then at this point, what I do next is I basically separate like all of the legs into one pile, then all the heads into one pile and stuff like that. And then also I'll collect like all the droid parts, put them in the droid drawer, same with skeletons for the skeleton drawer, and then basically just sort them into their main piles. And I know I missed a few minifigures, but then now it's about separating between the different parts for the most of it. So now I have them into larger sub piles. I've got legs, torsos, heads, anything that goes on the hair, anything that goes on the neck, and then other things, and then visors, and then headgear accessories. So now I have to subsort each of these that need it. For example, this pile here, I have to go for hair, then standard helmets, then fire helmets and crook helmets, then caps, aviator, and then everything else. And then these have to sort by color, these have to sort by mold typing by color, and then stuff like that. So I'm going to work on that now. So all of those parts that were on the table there are now put away. So next I'm going to work on all of the accessories and then add those into the proper drawers. I might try to adjust the drawers a bit because I haven't really done too much for the accessories. I kind of just put them wherever, but then I might try and put them in maybe alphabetical order or something like that. But I'm going to work on that a bit and put these guys away, and then after that it's onto the listing pile. And then after that, the 7 pounds is going to be finished being processed fully, or as fully as it goes for now. I still have the big figs just on the side because I just really didn't do anything with them yet. They'll probably end up on the listing pile because they're too damaged for eBay, but as long as I can describe the damage, they're fine for Bricklink. Yeah, then I'll work on this stuff next. So I've now taken out all of the drawers, just for sorting for now, because then once I'm done, then I can try and figure out what to put where. And so they're all out for now, just so that I can eventually figure it out. But yeah, then I'm going to work on these containers now. I'm checking a speed test right now, and despite my internet connection, I can't get a YouTube video to load. It just keeps on buffering, and then eventually loads in like 140p, and then just freezes, and it's just, I don't know what's happening right now. So I've now got all of the drawers put away, and I am a bit happier with the organization of it now. It's not in alphabetical order or anything like that, because I realized partway through that I can't really do that, because I've got arrows and ice picks in one, and then that's just like two different words, so it would just be weird if I sorted it like that. So I kind of just did a combination of sorting what I use the most in combination with just what kind of goes together and stuff like that. And then some of the stuff of how I used to have it sorted, like I used to have spears here and stuff like that. So I just try to keep some of them in spots that are more familiar and stuff like that, and then keep similar ones like the blasters, the short guns, the long guns, and star shooters together and stuff like that. So that is all organized now, so that's much better. This here is the stuff that goes in the other tools drawer, but that drawer is already full, and then the drawer above it is full, so I can't really just put them in there. So it's just going to stay in this container for a while. But then now I can start working on the brick store file for all of this stuff here. And it should be somewhat interesting to see what it's worth, because I know that there's some expensive things in here like this one, and stuff like that. So I'll get to work on this next. So I finally have the brick store file created for all of the parts that I had pulled out over here. And actually, I just forgot these guys, so I will add them in just a second. But then these parts here, there are 97 lots. At 6 month sales average is $212 for quantity of one. Some of them, there's more than one, but not too many of them. The most valuable ones are a couple of the minifigures like Ahsoka, and then I can't remember that person's name from Rebels, and then Yoda, and then there's like the ladder and stuff like that, but overall not bad. So then I'll quickly add these ones, and then I can start work on uploading these. So those 4 guys there just pushed it up to 302. Some of them are pretty valuable. There's the Killer Croc in first place. This Green Goblin one I'll probably end up parting out because I don't think I have a spare arm for him on hand, or even a hand right now. So then I'll part him out, and he is the least valuable at only $15. So there's that. And then yeah, a lot of these guys just have wear on them and stuff like that. I guess they were used quite a bit. Some of these, like this one here, is just in very poor condition. I'll see if I can salvage the hands or something like that, but I don't think I'd be listing that. Like, you can just, let's see if I can get this to focus. You can just see how horrible the print is at the top, and then it's just covered in scratches, dents, bite marks, and stuff like that. Yeah, you can easily see it there and everything like that. That's after being washed and everything. So I'll probably just see if I can salvage the hands and sell those. But then ones like this one here, I did clean him up a bit, and he's got a little bit of wear and fading, but nothing too extensive. So that one's perfect for Bricklink. And this one here, let's take a quick look. His feet aren't too happy, and there's quite a bit of damage on the back, but I'll probably still list that one. But yeah, then I'll probably just be able to salvage the hands of this guy, but then I'll get to work on all this now. Well, I don't think I'm going to be able to salvage the hands. Let's see if I can get this to focus. You can just see how nasty those things are on the inside. And then look at the arms. Like, what did this guy go through? I have to wonder. It's crazy. This hand is also dirty, just like the other one. But yeah, then this one here, I just can't get anything from. But yeah, the others don't seem to be that bad. Let's just check the arms. Yeah, like this one here, arms are relatively clean. Then we've got Killer Croc. He seems relatively clean. check this side. Yep, that's not bad. And then the Hulk, he was quite dirty. He had to be cleaned. But he's now clean and stuff like that. So yeah, I just wonder what happened to Thanos. That just made him extremely dirty. So just finished with the pile of stuff here. So it ended up being 102 items and 82 lots for 330. But then yeah, the Killer Croc was heavy damage as well, but since he's worth so much, I priced him about $5-ish below the cheapest on Bricklink. He's going between 30 to 35 to 40 right now, so I priced him at 25 and listed him as has heavy damage. And then the Hulk, he was in better condition, but still not too happy, so I had to describe that as well. But then for the most part, everything else was unique except for this one and this one, which are consolidated. But then I can upload that and then start pulling orders. Sold one hockey card, number 25, which is right here. This one was listed for 10 bucks, I believe. Sold for 7.5 plus shipping. Yogurt time. Sneak peek. And there's more over here. So now that they're installing the cabinets, they're going to be finished with the cabinets today or tomorrow, and then doing some finishing touches for the other stuff. But then it's going to be up to 2 weeks until we actually get the counters, because apparently they don't actually cut the counters till they're done everything else. So, but then potentially that means that I might have the basement sooner than later, which means that I might just set this up now, the photo booth again, and then I can start taking eBay photos and stuff like that. So I'm going to work on setting this up now. That's a cube. And the light box is now set up again. It's the 3 foot by 3 foot thing or something like that. So it's pretty nice thing. It has to get dusted for sure. Yeah, that's set up now for eBay photos. But then I'm just going through these columns now and then just pulling out cards and seeing if I can rebuild them, because now that everything is sorted a lot nicer, I can actually find stuff finally. Because before, like, all of this stuff here used to be just in this drawer and then the one beside it and stuff like that. So it's now a lot better for that, and I've already completely rebuilt 2 minifigures, and I'm working on just rebuilding a couple more as I can, and some of them I'm able to partially rebuild and then put back, and then add just one part instead of the whole minifigure on the wanted list. And so I'm just going to go through and see how many I can rebuild now, basically. So now the kitchen is, well, the first part of everything, they still have a lot more to do, is done, and it's starting to look a lot nicer now. So it's all of this here. Some interesting things that we found out were these cabinets are actually lower than the baseboards, so that's gonna be an interesting one to sort out. And apparently we were reassured, and it was one thing that was specifically mentioned, is they're known to forget doors. So they said that not to be worried, and that they will be here with the doors sooner than later. So there is that. And then, so over here, the island is freestanding, like it's not actually connected to the ground or anything like that. So if you hit it hard enough, it could probably move. But once the marble top thing, I think it's marble, is it quartz? I don't know. It's just a heavy stone thing, is on top, it will be practically immovable. But it's got a drop out edge thing over here by, I forget how much. So it's more of a ledge, so you can kind of sit underneath it. So then there's some sitting space here. And then also for this area here, then it will come out a little bit as well. And there's going to be a little bit of room there if you want to sit underneath, which is, I don't really think anyone's going to sit there. But then this here is where the table will end up being. And there, we did check out, and although it is a somewhat narrow thing, once you add the drop and a chair, you can still walk past here and stuff like that. But then this is going to be where the stove is. And then this here is going to be, I forget what it's called, but it's one of those things where you can pull out the thing, and then you can pull it out further to reach the corner. Then there's one of these cool corner cabinet things. This is for the fridge. And then apparently, I've never been in a renovation before, but apparently they don't actually put the door handles on right away. So that's something they're going to be working on. And then one of the interesting parts over here was they kind of put this door crooked, so we're gonna have to say something about that. But then that's done. But yeah, overall it's really nice. There's a few inconsistencies, like right here you can see there's huge gap there, and then over here it's practically fine. But then this stuff here, it's not going to be really visible once the top is on, so that's not really any big deal. And then apparently they decided not to paint that part of the wall, but whenever you look in the cupboard, you're gonna see it. So I'm not sure what's gonna happen with that. And apparently this year we expected it to be a little bit larger for the dishwasher, but it should just fit. And so then it goes up to here, and then the sink will be here. So overall, it's really starting to finally look a little nicer and everything like that. So then tomorrow they're going to be doing a lot of just fixing the issues, adding the thing over there, and then presumably sooner than later they're going to be adding the vents. Then they have to install the microwave, the sink, and the tap. But yeah, finally making some good progress. Have to get the electrician people here soon. Well, I haven't made any appointments, so we know someone who's taken, I forget how many courses or whatever for going to be an electrician. So we're going to be getting them to hopefully be able to replace all the outlets and stuff like that, since they should know what they're doing. And then it's always good to support someone you know. So there's that, and so then hopefully we can get all that stuff sorted out. And then not sure where on this island, but somewhere on this island there's going to be an outlet. So we still have to figure that out. And then we still need the light in this room and the light in that room. And I think, yeah, the 2 pot lights at the end there that are still missing. And still trying to convince my parents to replace these 2 lights with pot lights, because you can just now see it's nice daylight looking color over here and then just yellow. But who knows? And yeah, it's starting to look really nice now. So just finished going through these 2 rows here. I was able to get these 3 here rebuilt onto eBay from the random parts I was able to find. This one here I had laying up here, which I had for a catalog request, but that was moved from catalog to catalog request by an admin, so it probably just means they're going to get around to it eventually. And then these ones over here I was able to rebuild, but are not listed anymore because it's been over 3 months. So these ones will just get added to that pile to be worked on tomorrow or so. But then I can finally put this thing back away. Now the next day, and it looks like for the most part what they did was vacuum up all the dust from the cabinets and stuff like that, because it almost looked like they were unpainted yesterday partially because of just how much dust and stuff was everywhere. But that was cleaned up. But I heard a nail gun go off several times. I don't think these are new, but I'm not sure. But I'm certain I heard at least a dozen times where a nail gun was used, but I don't see anything else that was added really. They still never brought the door yet. Yeah, who knows? I'm almost certain of it. Oh wait, is that it? I'm not sure if these, well actually no, they probably were. I have no idea, but I'm almost certain there's something that I'm just missing. But then we're choosing handles for these guys now, because apparently we hadn't chosen them yet or something. I don't know. But slowly making progress. This might have actually been what I heard with the nail gun. You can see a few nail gun holes here, and they added this. I'm not going to touch that because it looks like it might still be drying, but they added a lift thing here, so it's not just a wall that you can hit, basically. So this is the end of the vlog, so thank you for watching if you got this far. Today's project is to get all of these minifigures listed on eBay, those ones, plus all of these ones that still have to have their cards made. But yeah, so the update is the countertop should be here sometime next week or the week after, and then they're going to be fixing all the doors, evening all that stuff out all in one go, and stuff like that. So it's probably no one going to really be here for a while until it's just done, eventually. But that's the update on that. And so it seems like I won't have the basement back just yet. But thank you for watching if you got this far. Today is a Saturday, so the next vlog should be out on Wednesday.